Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you all joining us for the post-game press conference for the UConn Huskies. We are joined by head coach Gino Auriemma, sophomore guard Paige Beckers, and fifth-year forward Dorka Juhas. We will begin with opening remarks from Coach Auriemma and follow up with questions for Paige and Dorka. Lastly, we'll circle back with Coach Auriemma for any other questions. When asking questions, please wait until the microphone is handed to you to ask your question, and for any virtual questions, please use the hand raise function and wait to be unmuted. Please be sure to state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. Coach, we'll start with the opening remarks.
Thank you. Well, I think the game probably went like you probably expect. First-round games tend to, take a while to get settled into. And I thought the first half was kind of choppy and a little bit disjointed and trying to find our rhythm. And our defense was good, and our offense, I thought, was a little bit out of sync. I think changing the starting lineup and, putting a sub in the starting lineup, I think affected us more than I thought it would. But it takes a little bit of time in that first game, and I thought we came out in the second half and we played exceptionally good defense in that third quarter, and that got everything going in the right direction, and got us more involved offensively, and that was more like what I expect to see, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that Monday night, because we'll need a lot more of that for sure.
Thanks, Coach. Now we'll open it up for questions for Paige and Dorka. Sorry.
Paige, Howard Megdal at the Next. Playing 24 minutes today, it seemed like there was a comfort that you felt throughout the game, number one. Number two, it seemed like the movements you had were a little bit smoother from this view. Just take me through what it felt like and what, if any, differences you felt compared to the Big East tournament.
Yeah, I think ever since the end of the Big East tournament, I've just tried to lock in mentally and physically, and trying to do whatever I have to do, cut certain stuff out, and just really lock in this next month. Just getting my body prepared, my mind prepared, and I think in the last 10 days I really locked in on that. And that's helped me gain confidence in my movements and what I'm doing on the court, and then just my teammates giving me confidence, my coaches giving me confidence, and just to keep working, and they're going to be by my side and help me with that. So I think just a whole lot of confidence and moving better, and the preparation has helped me be better on the court.
Jeff Magliacetti with Huskies Report. This question is for Dorka. It's so rare here in UConn that a senior makes her NCAA tournament debut here. So can you just describe the raw emotion you felt in contributing and finally making it to the tournament and contributing on a tournament-winning team?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was very exciting, as you said, as a senior, that was my first game, so I was a little nervous, excited to be here, and just it felt good, it felt good that I was out on the court with this team, and I'm happy that we got this win. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, and I can say, personally, my play wasn't perfect either. So, but it was definitely a good experience for me.
Deshaun Jones from NBA Online. My question is for either one of the players. We're early in March Madness, and for lack of better words, we already saw some surprises in the tournament. What was coach's words to you guys to set the tone defensively to start the game?
Just to play our game, no matter the opponent, no matter who we're playing. We got to be focused on ourselves, and we take pride here in putting our defense first and letting the offense come after that. So just being able to lock in, and we work super hard in practice on defense, and that's our sort of standing ground, just holding people to less points and just being active on defense. So just no matter what team we're playing, no matter what round it is, we're just focused on that.
Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. Paige, You were very efficient, but you only took 7 shots. Did you hear anything negative from your coach about not shooting enough?
No, I think I'm just still trying to find my way back in. Obviously, different role today in the starting lineup. I'm not really looking to force shots. I'm just looking to shoot when I'm open and get everybody else involved. I mean, that's what I did last year. That's what I'm going to continue to do this year. And if a game calls for me to take 15 shots or 2 shots, it doesn't really matter to me.
Hey, Zar Johnson from NBA Online. This question is for you both, you two. What did you guys do defensively for the third period? Because you basically shut them out the whole third period. They didn't score 1 point at all. What were you guys doing defensively to keep them shut out of the third period?
I think, just that full court pressure, kind of being more aggressive. Even in the first half, we did more of the full court pressure, but I thought in the third quarter we were more logged in. It was more it was sharper. We were able to get some steals, get some traps. So I think, it was just a different kind of mindset, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more logged in. And, that's how we have to come out the first quarter as well.
This is Don Memori from the Hartford Current. It seems like no matter who's in the game, whatever the combination is, the defense still looks the same. Still has the same intensity, the same level. How have you guys developed that in practice with nine people kind of playing with one mind defensively?
I think everybody is just being ready whenever their time is coming up, and I think that's what we're really doing. We're not really talking about who's playing, how many minutes and stuff like that, so I think it's really good that whoever is coming off the bench, they come in to play, they come in to be aggressive and kind of, give that second wind and everything with the new players in and be aggressive. And sometimes, other teams play a lot of players for the whole quarter, so whenever maybe they're getting a little tired, that second lineup can come in and, be aggressive. So I think everybody's just ready to play. And whenever it is, if it's the end of a quarter, middle of the quarter, it doesn't matter, I think. And we're just taking pride in that.
Alexa Philp. Can you hear me? Hello? Alexa Philpy with ESPN. Paige, the team was pretty good defensively last year, but it seems like this year it's even elevated that to a new level. From watching on the bench for so long this season, but also being back in the fold now, where do you see the biggest areas of growth on the defensive end of the floor from last year to this year?
I think just our mindset. Last year we played our best basketball in the Big East tournament and the NCAA tournament when we really had our defense figured out. So I think we just try to get that from the start this year instead of waiting until the tournament to play really good defense. So I think just a shift in mindset and putting that first and letting the offense. I mean, when our defense is great, our offense is going to come naturally. So just putting that first, and I think just picking up the intensity and the aggressiveness was huge for us. And also having that depth, just be able to full court pressure like we did today. Whenever guys get tired, we have a new group or subs come in and they apply the same pressure. So I think that also affected it.
Maggie Vanoni from Hearst, Connecticut Media. What's it like now to have Aubrey back on the sideline? Obviously, she's not working out quite yet, but just having her presence back with the team.
It's been awesome. We always got the good luck test every single time, we play from Aubrey, and now it's great that she's actually here. And, it's just awesome to see her, and I think she likes to be with us, around us, and it helps her to be, get better with her recovery, and it helps us to feel like we actually have the full team here, and, we really appreciate her on the bench. She's always very supportive, and it's just great to have the whole team here.
All right, we have time for one more question for the student athletes. Right up front.
Vicky Fulkerson from the New London Day. Paige, were you and Coach joked around about you being a sub and starting today, but were you nervous at all or anything like that, going back into the lineup to start the NCAA tournament?
I think I'd get nervous before every game just because I care so much and I want to do so well for my teammates and for my coaches and the whole program. So it doesn't really matter what role I'm playing, whether it be off the bench, starting, 30 minutes, 10 minutes. I think I just have so much passion for the game that I'm going to be excited and nervous and anxious for every single game. So I guess it doesn't really matter the role.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Paige and Dorka. All right, and now we can open it up for questions for Coach Oriama.
Coach Jeff Magliacetti with Huskies Report. In the first quarter, it was an 8-point lead, and you lost the turnover battle 6-5. What was the message to the team in the end of the first quarter huddle, and how do you think they responded from there on out?
You know, one thing I've learned over the last couple of years, you know, you just try to get you try to get your point across, but you're not always quite sure whether or not it's being received the same every day. We went we went into the game wanting to play quickly and make sure that we created as many possessions as possible. And one of the downsides to playing like that is you try to play a little too quickly sometimes and play fast and make passes and make decisions that you wouldn't ordinarily make. And I thought defensively, Mercer did a pretty good job of forcing some of our other guys to have to make shots early in the game, and that always takes a little bit of time to get used to. But as Paige said, the best thing that you can do for your offense is get your defense where it needs to be and let that translate into offense. And I thought from the second quarter on we did that.
Gino, Howard Magdal with the Next. Good to see you. Obviously Paige talked about being comfortable with whatever minutes, whatever role. 24 is the high I think that she's had since she's been back. Is the thinking been, how do we get her to a point where she's at full strength for the duration of this tournament? Or does this more closely align with kind of where you see her max minutes likely to be here in the tournament?
I don't think there's any set amount of time that we have. Initially, we did. When she was first coming back, there was. But right now, I just kind of go by what I see and what it feels like and what I think. Trying to read her mind or trying to read her body language, and try to be respectful too of, we have a game on Monday. So I think there's a lot of decisions that go into that. But right now I don't have a particular number in mind. If if it was 24 today, it could be 20 tomorrow, it could be 30, 20 on Monday, it could be 30 on Monday. I think a lot depends on, what the game looks like and what she looks like.
Gino, Roger Cleveland from the Waterboro Republican American. What worked so well for you guys defensively during that third quarter and for most of the last three quarters?
By the time you get to this point in the season, if you've been paying attention as a player, which is asking a lot, like if you've been paying attention, by the time you get to this point in the season where you played 30-some games, there really isn't anything that you're going to see that you say, guys, I think we're going to have a real problem on Saturday because they run some stuff on offense that we've never seen all year long. So everything that you see at this time of the year, you've seen it before. You've had to guard it. You've had some success with it. And then it's just a matter of, can you get your players to to play with a certain intensity level, and there's there's teams that you can play full court more. There's some you can't play full court. There's some you can trap more. There's some you can't trap. So it's a lot of decisions based on what does the team look like that we're playing, and what did we do when we played other teams that look like this, and so it takes a little bit of time to figure out how a team wants to attack you. And I think once we figured that out, and then how the game is being called, how aggressive you can be. So a lot of those things go into the decision making, but mainly it's all about, what's your effort and what's your, communication like on defense. And I thought in the third quarter, at halftime I wasn't too pleased. I wasn't too thrilled at all with the way the first 20 minutes went. And, I thought we came out with a different, different attitude in the third quarter.
Gino, Jim Clark with Women's Hoops World. Dorka has a 10 and 10, double. She has appeared to be playing with a great deal of intensity, kind of in the last 7-8 games that we didn't see earlier in the season. Do you have some comment on how that suddenly kicked in? Because she was all over the place today.
I wish I could say I knew the answers to these questions. I would just be guessing, but I think players want to play. That's number one. One of the positives of having people that had to sit out so much time, and you're constantly missing players, is players are playing a lot of minutes. They know they're going to play a lot of minutes, and they start to learn to be productive. Now, when you start to add those players and bring them back, if you're smart, you think, well, I want to play the same number of minutes I was playing before those guys came back, so I better get my act together and make sure that I'm playing at that level, or it's going to be easy to just go, okay, next. So I think having the ability to take someone out when they're not playing well, and then remind them of why they were playing in the first place, that goes a long way. And Dorka's a competitive kid, and I love how hard she plays. I love how competitive she is, and never surprises me how hard she works defensively, how hard she works rebounding the ball. That's probably been the biggest contribution that she's made to our team. The points have been great, yeah, but passing the ball, rebounding the ball, playing defense, I think all those things have been really, really solid for the majority of the year. More so now, though.
With the final question right up front.
Gino, Donald Morey from The Current. I know you've talked a lot about communicating with contemporary players, but is the buy-in of this group on defense, on playing defense, is it exceptional? Is it extraordinary? Or is it maybe just typical of your better teams that you've had?
I would say it's typical of the best teams we've had. You can't win with just playing really good defense, Otherwise, there would be a lot of great defensive teams that win a lot of championships. You still have to be able to put the ball in the basket, right? So you have to be able to score. But the best teams that we've had over the years have been really hard to score against, really hard to run their offense against. And because we put the kind of pressure we put on them by scoring now puts even more pressure on them to have to score, and it just, kind of accelerates the downslide. But not every team wants to play at this level defensively. Now every team wants to play this hard. For a young team, I think it's pretty unusual for as many young players as we have that they want, to be that good defensively. I think Nika is a big deal in all that. I think when she's not in the game, our defense is not the same, and you saw it today. The minute she enters the game, things change, and then people get caught up in that. It's contagious, and the beauty of being able to recruit pretty good offensive players and then making them play defense is that you can't shoot your way into our lineup. I mean, you can, but you better make them all. And then we've had some guys that played a lot of minutes that didn't play any defense, but they made them all. So, yeah, you got to make exceptions for some people. But every good team that's going to be left standing in the NCAA tournament a couple weeks from now is probably going to be a really, really good defensive team. And if we want us to be that team, then it has to be as good as it was today and even better.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Auriemma.
Thank you.